Hey everybody, this is Michael once again. So today's quote is from Epictetus, and I like this one. It's pretty simple, straightforward. So let's jump right into it. He once said, "Control thy passions, lest they take vengeance on thee." I mean, I always like that old school, speak how they spin it. But he is absolutely correct, right? I mean, we see a lot of people they get into a debate, into a discussion, and they get really into proving their point. Sometimes their point isn't necessarily very articulated. It's not very well thought out. Not it hasn't been really critiqued fully. And that's one thing you got to do is like if you before you present any kind of argument you have, you should always critique it yourself. Critique it. Talk to people that you trust, and essentially try and pull it apart as best you can. Um, and we don't really seem to have critical thinking or like the depth of thought because people just get so wrapped up in their passions, get so wrapped up in winning the argument, they kind of lose sight of what the point of debate is supposed to be. The debate is not necessarily to prove your rival, for lack of a better word, your competitor wrong or anything. What you're doing is you're literally exchanging ideas, and sometimes to accept an idea, it is hard to do. Um, but it is impossible to do if you are passionate about your ideas. Because when you are passionate, you then you get involved intimately, emotionally in it. And it's so no longer it's just about the point that you're making, but instead the whole point of the argument is you being right. And so you can lose, you can easily lose the argument even though you win it just because you're so passionate about it and you were so focused on it. You may have missed the overall point of the debate, and because it is supposed to be that you exchange ideas and grow and learn from it. Um, I mean, even George Washington on his exit address um, warned the American people about the passion of getting into the political party. Don't let your spirit get caught up in political parties, because you have a lot of people who are very passionately Democrats, are very passionate Republicans, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it becomes bad when you get so wrapped up in winning for the Democratic Party that you're not listening to the Republican Party, or vice versa, because the whole point of our system was to be able to pick and choose which of the best parties that we liked. I like the foreign policy on the Democrats, and I like the business policies from the Republicans, and we're supposed to be able to choose them. Knock my glasses right off. But we're supposed to be able to pick and choose things, and of different sides of the arguments of 4 different issues, so that way we can come together with a whole solution that helps everybody. Fortunately, we can't do that if we are so passionate about the Republican Party or Democratic Party or whatever, just because we will then lose the point of the debate. And the debate is not necessarily to win over someone or to drive your point home and get them to admit that they were wrong or anything. It's just so you yourself can grow and take ideas and mold them over, kind of chew on them mentally. So, I mean, that's what I kind of feel like he's kind of warning against. Don't get too passionate, because they will, your passions will take a hold and take control of you. And anytime I've ever done anything passionate in my life, and I didn't like couple it with wisdom or knowledge or depth of thought, things didn't go well for me. Maybe at first it seemed like it was great, but in the long term, because there was no actual depth of thought, no critical thinking done, usually it fell apart. Or unforeseen circumstances, which I should have been able to predict, caught me off guard. And that's kind of thing. Another hot take, I guess we'll say this, is how do people like Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler, how do they get into power? Well, they play on the passions of people. If you are scared that our country is being overrun with immigrants and that they're taking our jobs and all that, then it's very easy for you to be preyed upon by a politician who comes in and sells that passion of like, oh, I'm very passionate about protecting our country and doing all this stuff. And so by becoming passionate on a subject, or anything like that, you also kind of make yourself vulnerable, because again, how do people like Stalin and Hitler gain political power? I mean, like, we can all look at them and be like, wow, you are generally evil and not the best leaders in the country. Yeah, they did some good things for the country in a secular kind of way, but at the same time, they also caused a lot of damage, to their countries and to, just the world. I mean, because those people aren't revered for doing good things. They're pretty known for being bad people, for lack of a better word. I'm sure we can think of all better words for them. But again, that the only way people like that get into power is by preying on the passions of others. So try and temper yourself a little bit. I tell myself that every day. I feel myself getting passionate about something, and you be passionate. Use that as a starter. They're kind of like, oh, I'm passionate about painting. Well, I mean, does that mean you can go out and just buy a bunch of stuff and then start painting? Yeah, you could, but it might be better if you take a step and like, okay, I'm really passionate about painting. What do I need to do to become successful at it? Maybe take an art class. Maybe you'd look at all of the art supplies, and you can literally go to the paint store and easily go broke just buying supplies. It's not the cheapest activity or hobby, and then you just have all these supplies, and then you might be like me when I often jump into something new. I get all the supplies, I have all the paints, I have the canvases, but then I don't know where to start. I'm passionate about it, but I didn't really think through about my passion of how to best manifest it to bring it about. So start, always keep your passion alive. Gotta, just keep doing what you're doing. Be passionate. Use it as a nice starter, but you gotta continue it and carry it through with discipline and also critical thinking, the depth of thought. So that's what I believe he's kind of talking about, and also kind of a little bit of George Washington's exit address. You can literally Google that, George Washington exit address, and check it out yourself. So, but again, Epictetus, control thy passions, lest they take vengeance on thee. So, but as always, I hope everything is going well with you guys. Thank you again if you made it to the end of the video. If not, that's cool. I just hope that these kind of help me. I hope that someone is being helped through this one way or another. So take it easy, everyone. Best of luck to you.